Hey guys, UTM here with the 720 patch update, taking a closer look at some of the things that may have gone under the radar, just to see what Riot has been doing for this patch. So first up is Brand. So with Brand, Riot tries to deal with the problem of his mana supply. They acknowledge that it is a problem. In mid lane you do face yourself out of mana a lot, so you can't harass, you can't really poke, and then if you get ganked, you're low on mana, so you're probably gonna die, and that's why Brand is slowly being played less. But the reason for this is that Riot does not want you to play Brand as a support. So because a lot of people have been playing Brand for, I think, maybe 5 patches back as a support, and it was a very good choice as support, especially against squishy weak support. So in lower elo it worked. But now they don't like that for some reason, because they don't like fun or whatever. And so they want to give him the boost, but make that boost strictly available to mid game, or if you would play top, but only in a lane where you're solo, to give you the extra clearing, the extra farm ability, the extra attack when you get ganks or when you want to go in for the kill. Okay, so next up we have Graves, and with Graves the change is a bit strange, because Riot specifically changes Graves to make him less playable, well, not less playable, but more playable by less perfect players. They say you don't need perfect mechanics to be a good Graves jungler now. So they give him a boost in damage, they give him a boost in health, and the whole idea is that you can clear the jungle faster and be more effective with jungling and helping your team. Which is strange, because in higher elo I noticed that Graves already is a strong jungler, he does a crazy ton of damage, he already gets rolling. So I don't really see the problem there. I do see the problem at the silver and gold level, where a lot of people don't know how to jungle well, and if they play a jungler like Graves, it usually doesn't end very well. So they want to bring him back maybe to silver and gold jungling and get people accustomed to Graves jungle. That could be the reason. Otherwise, I really don't understand why you would boost Graves at all, since the pro players do have perfect mechanics and they're just gonna abuse this buff, since it basically means that any great main out there is just gonna eat this up and be like, thanks Riot. So after Graves we've got Ornn. Now Ornn is a long and complicated changing, tweaking history of Riot. So they now increase the damage of Billow's Breath. It seems like they're low in the percentage, but they're actually making it maximum health. So that basically completely annihilates your opponent. That is a major change, and it will do so much more damage, because you could imagine that if you're facing a Renekton or a Trundle with 3000 or 4000 HP, doing 15% of his current health when he's at 1000 AP would mean 150, but doing 12% of his 4000 HP would be killing him instantly when he's at 1000 HP. So it's a major difference, and will make Ornn like super effective against these top tanks, these very tanky heavy fighters, these tanky bruisers in the top lane. And I would not be happy with this massive buff, because even though they do reduce it from 15 to 12, so it's basically a 3 points reduction if I'm correct, and then in the end eventually it's a 5% reduction, but still 5% does not matter if you're now applying it to somebody's maximum health, especially for a top laner, because you're in the top lane and your opponents usually have a lot of health. That's the whole point often of top laners. Renekton, the Illaois, the Trundles, you name it, they all build health. And if you then do damage based on their maximum health, you're just gonna destroy tanks. And he's a tank himself, so he's gonna do a crazy amount of damage. Imagine this on a squishy 1200 or 1400 HP ADC. You're just gonna go right through him. So now we get to the most toxic, most disgusting, most terrible buff of 720, and that's the Tahm Kench buff. So my question is, why would you give a champion that has so much tankiness, so much damage taking capability, give him more damage? because Tahm Kench already does enough damage, especially against an ADC, a squishy support, squishy top laner. It doesn't matter. He can his tongue lash devour combo is just terrible, and you will feel pain pretty good. But now you're gonna give him more damage because you think that he isn't on par. He isn't being played that much. That's just because he's a difficult champion to combine with your teammates. You need a lot of coordination, but the pro players have that, and when you see them play Tahm Kench, it usually goes pretty well. So now you're gonna buff him just basically for lower elo, and this is gonna make him terrible because now you cannot play your Sona, your Soraka, even your Janna is gonna be a problem. And especially in the top lane, just forget about any squishy top laner, because every time you now get these buffs on tanky champions with shielding capabilities, with extra healing capabilities, and it's just why? Why are these tanks getting stronger and stronger? It makes no sense. So this is, in my opinion, the most terrible idea to give Tahm Kench even more damage, since he already is an OP champ. So the last champion I want to discuss is actually a revisit of Janna's previous reduction that I didn't discuss earlier, and that is, I think, the nail in the coffin for Janna players, because Janna was nerfed, Ardent Sensor was nerfed, Ancient Coin is nerfed, which means the entire Janna package is now terrible again. Because if you already nerf Ancient Coin, you take away the mana regeneration that was, I believe, 10%, you reduce it to 6%, and then you look at the cipher cost that's gone way up. You know, every level has gone up by 10 mana, and then you look at the damage of your passive that's reduced considerably, and combine that with the fact that you've now lost movement speed, lost base health, lost mana, and the whole point of the Ancient Coin nerf was for supports to go into fights more, go to the front line more, to make sure you get all the coins that it presents of for the mana regeneration, and that you get poked out more. And now you reduce her health, so she's gonna be a sitting duck now, getting way more harassed, way more damage on her, and not being able to do anything about it, pretty much. And since you now reduce the shield strength and you've nerfed Ardent Sensor, the whole point of a great support is now gone. So I'm really curious to see if this is gonna affect play, the amount of ban. I'm not gonna ban Janna anymore. I used to ban her a lot as a Sona player especially, but I don't see any reason anymore now to ban her, because I think that if you look at the overall package, not just on the Janna nerf, but the Ardent Sensor nerf, the Ancient Coin nerf, and now the additional Janna nerfs, I don't really see her as a threat anymore. And I think that high elo players are also now gonna ditch her, and they're probably gonna play more Tahm Kench or any other support, because Janna has been buried by Riot. It's done, it's over. The Janna party has finished. So now we get to the final item, the final point I want to make, and that's the Spell Thief's Edge buff. Not really, I don't even want to call it a buff because it's so tiny, but still, I welcome it. Thanks Riot for showing the support main some love. This nice little 5 extra AP on the Spell Thief's Edge, combined with the earlier buff where if you upgrade it, you get the 10% cooldown reduction. And so eventually I would like to see more AP support items and support champions get a little buff here and there, because it really feels like every time a support item or a support champion gets ahead, gets some nice combination going like we saw with Janna, it immediately gets stomped down, and it's like there's nobody really in Riot wants support champions to be a star or be the main attraction. It's always, yes, a support, you just have to do this same job over and over and make sure that the ADC gets to be the hero. Whereas if you're a great support player, you should be able to support the team more and be more influential in the game, because everybody, you need a 5-man team, so it just doesn't make sense to really push the support away too much. So I like to see support items getting buffed, I like to see support champions getting buffed, and I hope Riot is going to continue with doing just that. Peace.